And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking Friday practice, Friday in Zandvoort, Holland, where Red Bull are quite frankly not particularly good enough, sadly. Yeah, so when we look at the practice session, practice one was pretty much wet, a washout, although it's not impossible we could see more rain. The weather's not looking amazing at the time of recording this. But three teams appear to potentially be in the mix at Zandvoort. Sadly, Ferrari, very much not one of them. So windy conditions were greeted on Friday practice, particularly in Friday practice 1. And we picked up from where we left off with Spa in terms of how fast the teams are. So we know that McLaren are very much upgraded. They've topped the qualifying and race simulations on Friday, and we'll get to that in a second. So speaking of the practice sessions then, who is fastest and who is not? Well, let's have a look. Let's share practice 1, shall we? There it is. Hopefully you can see that. So Norris ended up being fastest in practice 1, Verstappen 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, 4th Sainz 5th, Russell 6th, Albon 7th, Piastri 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Magnussen 10th, Zhou, Stroll in 11th, Perez all the way down, 1.9 seconds down in 12th, but it is wet. 13th Leclerc, again not good. Alonso slower than Stroll. Tsunoda 14th, Alonso being 15th. And then we had Sargent, Ocon, Ricciardo and Gasly finishing up the top 20 there. When we look at free practice 2, it is let's be fair, it's a lot more representative. And here's where Red Bull may well struggle. I mean, Verstappen struggled to get into the top 3, didn't at all. He ended up finishing 5th. It was George Russell taking the practice victory, let's say. And then it was Piastri, less than a 10th behind. Just over a 10th was Lewis Hamilton, who was apparently fairly happy with the car, but thinks we can improve. Norris was 4th, Verstappen was 5th, Alonso 6th, Tsunoda 7th, 6/10 off, Magnussen 8th, Leclerc 9th, Albon 10th, and that's all within 8.5 tenths, which is not too bad, the top 10. But well done for Albon. Stroll 11th, Perez in 12th, 8/10 down, nearly 9/10, and you're looking at there's a 6/10 gap between him and Verstappen. Now, if that does not change, you have to start to wonder whether he's going to make it into Q3. But there we go. They decided to keep Perez. Hopefully, he turns it around. I really hope so. So after Perez, you got Ricciardo, less than a 10th behind the number 1 team. Yes, not particularly good, is it? Tsunoda ended up being 7th, albeit he was only a couple of tenths, just between 2 to 3 tenths slower and faster than Ricciardo. Gasly 14th, Sargent 15th, Zhou, Ocon, Bottas, Sainz, Hulkenberg last, but he did have a brake problem in the end. So yeah, that being all equal. So here, on the qualifying simulation times, we've got McLaren potentially fastest, about 300ths off. We have Red Bull Racing, and then a 10th off we have Mercedes, supposedly. Ferrari, a massive 6/10 off. You gotta feel that there's more time for them. Really, I mean, that's not good at all. Then it's Haas, Williams, RB, Aston Martin, Alpine, and Sauber very much last by quite a long way. But let's go. People are thinking there's going to be potentially Mercedes renaissance still. However, McLaren showed the best race simulation, albeit there is rain, the track is green. If it grips up, that can change anything. We know how sensitive all of these cars are to temperature as well. But it's McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull Racing, all within, we're talking like 400ths of each other. And then about 3.5 tenths down is Ferrari. And then you've got quite the tight mid-pool pack with Williams, Haas, Alpine, RB, and then it's Aston Martin being penultimate, as in last but one, with Sauber there. And it even says here, Red Bull aren't used to not topping our pre-weekend simulations. The reigning world champions having gotten comfortable, consistently leading the way in both metrics, but they were P2 in qualifying trim and P3 in race trim. Championship leader Max had a bumpy day. Uncharacteristically, he did spin in FP1. It's wet. If you're going to spin, you do it in practice. And admitting after a dry FP2, they are just too slow. Now, his teammate, Perez, continued to get used to a new race engineer. He's going to stand in for his regular engineer, who goes on paternity leave. The Mexican says he made a mistake on his soft tyre run that skews his ultimate pace, apparently. But he conceded a lot of work needs to be done. There's nothing in it, though, and Red Bull has shown time and time again they can make big changes overnight to find heaps of lap time. That is absolutely correct. They absolutely do. These are the slow, medium, high corners and the straights, with Ferrari being fastest in the slow corners, albeit this is very much like a medium, and Then you've got Red Bull. Then you've got Red Bull Racing, who are, I mean, that's car performance. No, Ferrari slow. Sorry, 0.6 slow. Yeah, not very good there. I was reading that all wrong. Sorry. So yeah, you can see Ferrari's 0.6. I thought, wow, they're fast, but no. And then basically, yeah, Red Bull looking, good on the slow corners, good everywhere. Really. Medium, high on the straights. McLaren not looking too bad on the straights, and Ferrari looking okay on the straights as well. If you believe that bit there. So it's quite interesting. When we go to the Lights Out blog, we've essentially got, this is the Sector 2 best times. So Hamilton and Russell best in Sector 1 and Sector 2, but it's Piastri in Sector 3. The ideal lap with Russell, obviously the ideal lap there being 0.06, being 0.061 faster than Piastri. Verstappen only appears in the top two once, and that is in Sector 3. So when we look at, I mean, he's even slower than Perez. 2/10 off Verstappen is in Sector 1 here. There we go. There's Verstappen, 2/10 off in Sector 1. He is 2/10 off in Sector 2, and then he ends up, 0.04. Sector 3 is not too bad, but a lot of that is, putting your foot down. It's quite a fast sector though, is Sector 3. But it's not looking particularly good for Red Bull at all, is it? I mean, sorry, there we go. Excuse me. If you are, sorry about that. Hello, Jordan. If you are, from my previous Jordan video, quick advert, watch it. Top 3 Jordan drivers. So, if you are Max Verstappen, that is going to be a problem, isn't it? I mean, if you're Max Verstappen, you, by all means, are not going to be particularly happy with that at all. And as I said, he's already admitted that the Red Bull is too slow. He wants to make it, understandably, 4 wins in a row. But trading both McLaren and Mercedes car, it could be quite difficult. Now, the caveat being is, in the race, they have extended that DRS zone. We know how strong Red Bull are in that DRS zone. But Verstappen, asked to reflect on his day, he said, of course, in FP1, I didn't get a lot of running. I guess in FP2, you can see a little bit more where we are. A bit too slow on the short runs, a bit too slow on the long runs, a bit of work to do. At the moment, there's no clear answer on how to improve specifically. But we'll look into these things. Just a bit too slow, as simple as that. And remember, he's gone so far without a win since June's Spanish Grand Prix. That was 4 Grand Prix ago, which is almost unheard of. We're looking at the end of the 22 season and the beginning, and the whole, let's be fair, of the 2023 season. However, it poises us for, I think, a really exciting race. If you want to see more, please give us a subscribe. Hit that notification button so you do not miss a video. We also do rally, touring cars, a bit of gaming, etc. etc. We'll speak to you soon. I'm looking for the outro. I can't find it. The outro's gone. It's just gone. Where's the outro, he says. See you later.